Hi, we're the Bryants, coming to you from our home in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. I wanted to do a quick video, well maybe not a quick video, but a video for those of you who've experienced issues or problems with pregnancy. This is sort of our testimonial, and hopefully it'll help someone and give someone some encouragement if you've experienced an issue with pregnancy. This is going to be a two-part video. The first part is going to be sort of our trials that we've experienced with pregnancy, and the second part of the video will what I consider our triumphs that we've experienced with pregnancy. So sort of the good and the bad, or the bad and the good that we've experienced. But at the end of the day, it's really about God's grace and mercy and how good He's been to us and our family as it relates to us having a baby.
Okay, so I'm going to take it back to the beginning, which was June of 2015 when we found out we were expecting. I had my first doctor's appointment on June 26th. On June 25th, going into June 26th, I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. So as I was going to the bathroom, or getting ready to go to the bathroom, I realized there was a puddle of blood. And I yelled and screamed for Darren to come in the bathroom and to go get me some towels so that I could clean up. And then I also had to go to the bathroom still. And when I'm sitting on the toilet, I realized there's a big plump. And I was so scared to look because I felt it and I knew it was large enough that I believed it was the baby. At that point, I got up, called my doctor, who I then explained what happened, and he agreed with me that he thought I had a miscarriage, and pretty much there was nothing they can do. And since I had a doctor's appointment that following morning, he said, just go to your appointment, and then, go and get checked out, and they'll be able to tell us what to do next. At that point, I believe I went to sleep. I'm not exactly sure, but I know we both were anxious and nervous about what was going on. That morning at the doctor's office, we were to have an ultrasound. I was looking at Darren like, I don't understand why we have to have an ultrasound. I lost the baby. I kind of was in my feelings, and I didn't want to go through that part. Lo and behold, as we're having the ultrasound, there's a baby heartbeat on the monitor.
Yeah, so as Janelle stated, when the sonographer, and I think I'm saying it right, and I think that's the technical term for the person who actually does the ultrasound, when she told us we were going to have an ultrasound, I thought it was just sort of a waste of time, but I knew they had to do it just to make sure she was okay, but for us it was just semantics, so to speak. So I pretty much had my head down, the monitor was in front of me, and I really had no need to look at the monitor because I didn't think there was anything to look at. Well, lo and behold, the sonographer said to us, hey guys, here's a heartbeat. We both were sort of blown away and perplexed at the same time. But she did explain to us that in some cases you could be pregnant with twins, and the human body, especially the female body, understands that there could be something wrong with one of the babies, and so it would automatically reject that baby. So the female body is an amazing thing, and Mother Nature itself is amazing in that sense. So she explained this to us, and so we went from having an extreme low, thinking we'd lost a baby bright and early that morning, to us still being pregnant, seeing a heartbeat, and knowing that there's a baby still inside of Janelle.
So at that point, we had to make an appointment and come back to see the doctor. We went to our next appointment, which was at the beginning of January. And at this point, I think I was about 6 weeks pregnant.
Beginning of January?
Oh, beginning of July. I'm not editing that. The beginning of July. And what he saw in the ultrasound was my cervix looked to be open, which isn't a good thing when you're pregnant. So he stated that he thought I should go see a specialist because after he showed us what it looked like versus what it should look like, we agreed, and we made an appointment for the specialist. She was able to see us like the first or second week of August.
So essentially what the doctor stated, he drew a picture that shows what a cervix should look like, and he drew a picture of what Janelle's cervix looked like, and essentially she had a shortened cervix. And the proper terminology for that is an incompetent cervix. Now, I figured she had an incompetent husband. Never would have guessed she had an incompetent cervix. But she did, and so we went to see the specialist. Mm-hmm. Actually, we didn't go see the specialist. We had the appointment scheduled for the specialist. No, we actually did go see the
Let me
specialist.
take it from here. So we went to go see the specialist at the beginning of August. At that point, I was a little too early for her to confirm yay or nay if my cervix was yes open. But she said she saw what the doctor suspected could be an incompetent cervix. So she said, I need you guys to come back September the 1st because you'll be further along and I'll be able to tell and we'll be able to rectify it. So let me fast forward it to August 31st. Me and Darren went to church that morning and I was having really bad pains. You probably hear Logan in the background. We'll show you him later. I was having really bad pains and I sat down the whole time, and after that I thought I was feeling a little better. We went to the movies to go see War Room. Love it. I hope you guys seen it as well. During that time, I was going back and forth to the bathroom, and I realized I was leaking really bad. Well, not enough to be too alarming, but enough to know that something was going on within my body. So I kept putting tissue down there, and when I came back from the bathroom, it was just, when I go back and forth to the bathroom, I had to switch, put more tissue. I didn't have anything else but tissue. So when I got home, because I still was in pain, Darren's like, you want to go to the doctors? I'm like, no, I'm in enough pain to know that I'm okay to stay at home. But I didn't think that it was anything too alarming at that point. When I went to sleep about 9 o'clock that evening on the couch, Darren just let me stay there because I was in so much pain and I was actually comfortable. About 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, I get ready to go to the bathroom once again. And then I realized my mucus plug falls out. And I screamed for Darren once again because I'm petrified. I didn't know what was going on. All I knew is mucus plug meant baby to be coming soon. And we were about 15 weeks, and our appointment once again was to be the next morning.
So you hear some common themes here. Number one, wee hours of the morning. Number two, there's always a toilet. And number three, I have to go to the hospital at the wee hours of the morning, and there's a doctor's visit the next day. So essentially, we get to the hospital the wee hours of the morning, and they explained to us that Janelle had been leaking her amniotic fluid, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Amniotic fluid. Amniotic fluid. I'm a dude. I don't have
Amniotic, no B in there.
All right, but she's leaking fluid. Jeez. So
right.
We asked what that meant, and they said essentially, you guys are gonna lose your baby. So they checked us into the maternity ward. They didn't send us to emergency room or any place else. They checked us into the maternity ward. So as we get up to the maternity ward, I realize or recognize that there are a lot of pink and blue ribbons on doors. It's typically a happy place. Well, we checked into our room, which is a birthing room in a maternity ward, knowing that we probably were going to lose our baby. So it was pretty unique in that sense that we're checking into what's typically a happy place to experience something that was going to be, traumatic, so to speak. So we check in. The doctor comes in. She didn't have very good bedside manners. I'm just going to be completely candid. She was, pretty direct, straightforward, and honest. She gave us a couple of options. She said, we can medically induce you and take the baby, or you can wait until it happens naturally. So we didn't make a decision right then and there. And at that time, the doctors were changing shifts. So the next doctor came in, who we absolutely adored because her bedside manners were just unbelievable. She was compassionate. She showed sympathy and empathy in terms of what we were going through. Well, she gave us another option, but she did tell us that I'm going to allow you to, decide on your own, and we're going to let this ride for as long as you want it to ride, unless your health starts to become a factor, and then we're going to have to go ahead and take the baby away from you.
Right. But at one point, Darren forgot to mention, as soon as we found out that the baby may not make it, we called our pastor. And Pastor Shamari White and co-pastor Jackie White from Have Life Church in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Have Life? You know.
So anyways, they instantly prayed for us, and by 7 o'clock that morning, they were actually at the hospital to pray for us again and just to check up on us. After they left, I stayed in the bed the whole time, And around 6 p.m. that evening, I had to go to the bathroom. I was feeling good. I was in good spirits. I get ready to go to the bathroom. I happened to look down, and I seen some legs and an arm hanging out. And I freak out. I scream for Darren to get the nurse or the doctor, somebody here to come in the bathroom to help me. Darren goes out running, looking for doctors and nurses. A nurse comes in, Nurse Tina. She comes in and she proceeds to walk me to the bed, and I'm frantic because I don't know what I should be doing. I didn't want to hurt the baby. I didn't know if it was a chance he could survive. I just didn't know what was going on. At that point, I didn't know what I was having. I didn't know if it was a boy or girl. So I get onto the bed. The doctor comes in, Dr. Rollins, and she's like, "I'm gonna need for you to push." I'm like, "Push? Like I have to have a natural birth? Like have to give birth right now?" And that's exactly what I had to do. As I'm pushing him out, she goes, "Oh, it's a boy." And I'm like, "A boy?" Which I really wanted a boy. And we ended up naming him Shiloh Ray Bryant.
Yep.
And
so she pushes this baby boy out, and he was probably, and I think Janelle was just hopeful as any mother would be, but we realistically knew our baby wasn't gonna make it because he was only 15 weeks, so he was too young and too early, and at the end of the day, he had none of his vitals or any of that stuff to survive. So he was essentially the size of probably from my fingertip to somewhere about my wrist. I could actually hold him in one hand. And so the doctor asked Janelle if she wanted to hold the baby, and Janelle declined initially. But the doctor said, I think you'll regret this if you don't, and it helps to bring closure. So Janelle actually held the baby for a short amount of time, and then she decided to give him over to me, and I held him probably for 2 or 3 hours as we both bawled our eyes out, as you can imagine, probably for that entire time. And I think Janelle can attest to this. I didn't realize I could love something so much so soon, like we did, the baby that we lost. And so we called our pastors again, explained to them what happened, and they immediately came back to the hospital that evening and prayed with us again. And they basically just prayed prayer of healing, prayer of understanding for us as they understood what we needed in that particular time.
Okay, so then after that, we came to terms and we were accepting of it, and just knowing that this traumatic incident happened pretty much grew Darren and I bond a little stronger than what it was before, which we have as an unbreakable bond anyways. But we were thankful to God because we know He doesn't make any mistakes, and we knew that what was meant to be was going to happen, which it did, and we knew in the future that we wanted to have a baby. So we want to go into the next video talking about how we had our Logan James Bryant. We'll probably have that video in a couple days.
Thank you guys for listening. I know this has been a relatively long video, but here again, we're doing this video because this is not about us. Here again, this is about God's grace and mercy. And we're really hoping that by seeing this video, if you had any issues with pregnancy, that know there's still hope and there's still a chance for you. We'll talk to you soon.
Please subscribe, and add any comments down below, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you.